Whoa, we are live again. And we are live. And it's amazing. Let's do this. Dun, dun, dun. Mhm, 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 mhm. Go ahead and hit the like button as you come in. What's going on? All right, so we're going to share this on Instagram real quick and then we'll get started. Appreciate y'all for being here. We're on here back to back, 2 nights in a row. All right. Uh, mhm, mhm. All right. So we got Kate from Houston. Kate, what's going on in Houston tonight? Angie, shout out to Angie from Toronto. We got Connor from Florida. Let's see here. Shout out to Swizzy, Melissa from California. Wade from Pennsylvania. Shout out to everybody, wherever you are tuned in from. I appreciate you for being here. Michael G's from Arizona. Thank you all for being here. Okay. It's going to be an amazing call. It's going to be a fun time. We're going to answer some questions as we hop into it. So make sure you drop your questions down in the comment section below before it gets busy. When it gets too busy, I'm not going to get to everybody's question. So if you have any question right now, go ahead and drop it in the chat. If you want to make a donation, if you want to support the channel, hit the super chat button, send a donation. I appreciate it. Thank you all so much for doing so. Or if you want to skip the line, if you want me to prioritize your question, send a super chat. And if you haven't already, hit the like button, okay? So, without further ado, let's just hop into it. First question is from Connor. Connor says, so before we broke up, my ex lost intimacy with me. Will no contact still work? Well, that's very similar to everything else and all the other video topics that we talk about. That has a lot to do with a loss in attraction. And generally, right, intimacy, signs of affection, tends to suffer most when a woman loses attraction. So, generally speaking, so that's very normal. That happens. So, your solution would still be no contact. Okay. There's nothing else in the book for you to be doing besides giving her time, space, and distance. I'm actually going to release a video on Friday that's going to talk about something else that I think is very important as far as no contact is concerned. Something else you should be combining with no contact, but for now, definitely you should just be giving her space. Okay? Let's see here. Deal says 40 days no contact, baby. Shout out to you, Deal. Good job for sticking to the plan. I know it's difficult, but good job. Shout out to you, Deal. Let's see. Savage says, quick question. Hope you're doing well. I am. I'm doing amazing. It's been a wonderful day. I've been in 2 months of no contact. Still haven't heard or seen my ex. Do you think it's over? Well, one, I don't have a crystal ball, so that's not what I do. I don't make predictions. If you want to go over specifics about your case, you can book a call because, yeah, every breakup is different. But if your question is, should you be freaking out at 2 months? The answer is no. But maybe, for example, if you were someone that did extremely unattractive things like stalking, because I've certainly seen that, popping up at your ex's job or their family home. So there are lines that you shouldn't cross generally. So it depends on the specifics of the breakup. But just at face value, what you're asking, 2 months is too soon to freak out. For a lot of people, you're in such a state of fear and anxiety that you don't even recognize that you have something to offer as well. It's like, oh, do you think I still have a chance? What about your ex? Because ultimately, which is the topic of today's video, right? The reason an ex comes back is because they feel they are getting something out of the deal as well. That's why, okay? Human beings, we're all self-interested, self-motivated. Okay. So if your ex doesn't think there's anything of worth for them to get out of being with you, they won't be there. So if your state of mind is always, oh, do I have a chance? Is it over? That means you're agreeing to the notion that you're less than your ex because you think that your ex being with you is a privilege. All right. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't appreciate your ex. I'm not saying you shouldn't love them if you guys get back into a relationship. But your state of mind is very clear from that statement. You have your ex on a pedestal. And if you continue to think that way, they'll never want to come back because every time they're with you, they will feel like they're doing you a favor, right? The energy just would not match and would not align. Okay. Um, Jordan Peterson has a book, 12 Rules for Life, and the first rule on there is stand up straight with your shoulders back. And to me, that goes with everything. That goes with, how you communicate, how you carry yourself, how you speak, what you think about yourself, how you show up into the world. So never be thinking or never be acting like someone is doing you a favor by being with you. That's the whole purpose of no contact. At the end of the day, the bottom line is if they do not choose you, then you're willing to lose them forever. That needs to be at the back of your mind. Okay. Anyway, shout out to Liz, half-ass reviews and stuff from Texas. Shout out to you, Liz. Clem, shout out to Clem. Clem's a client. I talked to Clem the other day. Shout out to you, Clem from NYC. Shout out to my brother Clem. All right. Danielle says, "Hey, coach. X and I reconnected. Been talking for 3 weeks, making plans." Okay. He randomly blew up about a comment made 3 weeks ago that upset him. I had no idea. Back in no contact. Thoughts? Well, what was the comment? Like, what specifically did you say? Because I will say respect is a big thing. It's very important for men. So, that question is lacking context of what exactly happened. So, maybe supply the context. But generally speaking, I mean, depending on what you said, they should be willing to have a conversation. If it's just one and done, I mean, unless you said something extremely egregious, that's an overreaction. But there you go. Lori is from Cali. Shout out to Lori. Terry says, "You're amazing. Thanks for the wisdom." I appreciate it. I'm just doing what I was put here on earth to do. And I do enjoy what I do. So I'm thankful. But thank you for the comment. That's really nice. I appreciate it. And thank you all to anyone who sees a video, clicks on it, to anyone who sees a video and likes it. I just want to say and express my gratitude. Like truthfully, does mean a lot. Okay. And I thank you. I really do. And I hope, okay, because I know that the calls, like everyone can't afford to do a call. I understand that. That's why I would do everything in my power to keep the live sessions going. Okay. The reason the calls cost what they do is literally I'm extremely busy supporting clients. Okay. So after a while, it's just I literally cannot physically show up to the calls with the right amount of energy and vigor, at a certain price point because I'm talking to a lot of people, truthfully. So, but I thank you all, and that's why we have the live session. So I'm glad we can offer back some value for free. So if you have questions, drop them in now. You don't have to pay for that. Drop your questions and try to add as much context as you can add so I can give you a good answer. Okay, Jack with the super chat. Jack says she reached out on Thursday to say sorry about his brother's passing. She said she saw the funeral details on Facebook, but we're not connected on Facebook. She said, I'm always here for you. How do I handle this? Well, it's a nice gesture, right? So there's nothing in that statement to me that's beyond the realms of something someone who's a kind, reasonable human being would do. So there's nothing to do but acknowledge and thank her for her support and then go back into no contact. It's a kind gesture, okay, but I wouldn't take that as a sign of high interest, okay. It's just something nice to do. All right. All right. Next question is from Ty Beb. Hey coach, my ex dumped me almost 2 months ago, was in no contact for 3 weeks, then blocked 3 weeks ago. My question is, I feel myself detaching from my ex. Mean when you're unsure you want your ex? That's just the natural emotion, okay, and that's a fine, in my opinion, that's a fine and healthy place to be, because at the end of the day you need to feel like you have other options and other opportunities, and it's not the end of the world either way, because I want you to truthfully be thinking, okay, do I really get anything out of being with them? Okay, so when you have that vision for your life, and I really want you to take a second and dream and picture it for a second. Maybe there's a specific job you want to have, or, a specific career. Maybe you want to move to a different part of the country, of the world. All right, maybe you have certain values. You're a morning person, you enjoy working out, but your ex wants to party all night long. They're an extremely attractive person, but they want to spend all of their nights at the club, right? So there's a clear sign that there's a lack of congruency between those two lifestyles. So I do want you to get to a point where you're always thinking with your vision first. Where do I want to go? Where do I want to be? And do they fit into the life I'm trying to build for myself? And so you should have a healthy level of, I'm not so sure I want to fix things. And that's a great place to be. Because when you're in a place of lack and desperation, you will likely accept abuse. You will likely accept the bare minimum. And that's not what you want to do, obviously. All right, Jennifer Black with the super chat says, I know contact a guy I dated for 2 months and recently saw him. He was all over me, giving me looks. I stayed strong and texted him a few days later. He's acting standoffish. What do I do? Well, like you're in no contact, okay? So you're behaving like, hey, I'm strong. I'm good. I'm moving on. I'm living my own life. You see him one day, he shoots a couple of smiles at you, and then you break no contact. All right. That's why he's standoffish. You should have let him reach out to you. And bottom line is, he might have been all over you. If he really had high interest, if he cared enough, he would want to see you one on one, not at the club, not at a bar, but on a date, so he can progress the relationship. So my guess is this guy is just not that invested in you. That's what I truly believe. So you shouldn't have texted him. I would go back into no contact. He's acting standoffish because he doesn't care. Or at least he doesn't care that much. Okay. Let's see here. Jennifer says, must oh, I'm guessing you're saying, must the questions be related to the topic? You can ask whatever question you want to ask. If it's not breakup related, I'll kind of decide if I want to answer it or not. Like if I don't have expertise on the subject, then I'll probably skip it. If it's about my personal life, it's flip a coin. I might answer it, I might not. So feel free to ask whatever crosses your mind without being disrespectful. Okay. Don't disrespect me or anyone else or anyone's comments or question. Please be respectful. Okay. Thank you. All right, let's see here. Osman says, "Hey Black, is it possible to be back after going no contact for 5 months?" Yes. I was just talking to someone today, without giving away too much information. They are in no contact with one ex currently, and they were telling me about a previous ex who they dealt with that came back after 7 months. Okay. And I've seen this happen with clients in my practice. So 5 months is not too long. Let's see here. Anna says, if you stayed friends with your ex, is it possible to get back together by hanging out with each other? Likely not. Okay. And a lot of people make this mistake. Like, you think that by being friends with your ex that you're gonna get in a relationship. It's a mistake. Okay. Because all you're doing is that you are giving your ex unlimited access to you on their terms. That is not what makes them miss you. Think about, when you think about the good times of, maybe when you were in high school or middle school and all the fun you had with your friends, the reason why you remember those days favorably is because they're in the distant past. Like, you can't really grasp them, right? They're elusive. We tend to value things that we don't have easy access to, or that we have no access to at all. So when you're being friends and you're sitting there and you're, talking to them whenever they want, whenever they're bored, why would they want to fix things? Why would they want to be with you? So if you're friends, if you're in the friend zone, you need to revoke the friendship. Tell them, hey, I made a mistake. I can't do this friendship thing with you. I care about you too much. I don't see us that way. If you change your mind about us, let me know. Otherwise, I wish you well. Okay. That's what I would say. Cameron with a super chat says, my ex DM'd me on IG back in April in response to my story I posted. Does it indicate she misses me if it was at 2 a.m. when she sent the DM? Again, if you're going to take the time, add some context. Now, maybe because of the dollar value of the super chat, you didn't have as many characters, but it depends on what she said. One, she texted you at 2 a.m. So, I would take those kind of texts with a grain of salt anyway. But say you posted a story and she just, liked it, or she put like an emoji reaction, like, that's not a big deal. Like, it's not really anything tangible. But if she reacted and she sent words to you, she literally said, "Hey, I was thinking about you," or "Hey, how's things going?" Whatever. Then it's your job to set up a face-to-face get together. So if this happened back in April, either you missed the opportunity to ask her out, or it just wasn't anything substantial. So I would wait for the next reach out. Natasha with the super chat says, "Hey, coach, does no contact work a second time?" Yes. A lot of my clients that I've talked to are dealing with no contact for a second and third time. All right. Example, we were broken up before and I went no contact. 10 months later, we were back together. Now, fast forward 5 years. Here we are again. Thoughts? Absolutely, it can still work. 5 years is a long time. So you broke up over 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Went no contact for 10 months, got back together, been together for 5 years. You can absolutely come back from that. Again, if you want to talk about it, if you want to give me more context, book a call. And you know what? Let me put the call link in the chat. Okay. If you really got to talk about it, okay. But if you just started no contact and you've been in no contact for a week or 2 weeks and you're freaking out, be patient. You don't have to book a call at that point. Okay. I want you to get the most value from your investment. So it's best if you book a call when your ex is starting to move towards you, when they're starting to do something. Okay. That's the best time to book a call if you really need to talk. Okay. All right. Where were we? JT Royce says, my ex 2 years is an avoidant, and I texted her after 2 months of no contact. She replied twice and then stopped. She said she still loved me the last time we saw each other 2 months. Should I move on? Well, you should be working on moving on anyway, emotionally. Okay. I feel like people ask that question for me to give you permission to sit by the phone waiting for your ex to text you. I'm not going to do that. And also, when I read that statement, your question is laced with excuses. All right. So you're making an excuse for your ex, essentially saying that she's an avoidant. So she's different from everyone else. And so, I'm going to have to do everything to get her back. No. Okay. Let her reach out to you. And when she does, stop texting back and forth like besties. Ask her out. If she doesn't agree, then you never ask her out again. Okay. Angie, why does he not want to say how he feels? He tells me about myself, but not how he feels. Well, again, a lot of context is missing here, Angie, or Angie. But if you broke up, one, you should be in no contact. So let's assume you were in no contact and he texted you. And now all of a sudden you want to talk about your feelings. That's totally out of sequence. Okay. You don't go from a breakup to start sharing deep and intimate feelings. It's not natural. It doesn't come that way. You're still starting to get to know each other again. You're still figuring each other out. So what you should be focused on is dating, not trying to pry out his feelings, because what you're assuming is, oh, if I can get to the crux of his feelings, I can connect with him. All right. And you're not going to have that access to your ex initially. You're not going to have access to the deep layers and the underpinnings of their emotion. You're not going to have that quickly. What you're going to get access to is, you know, their presence. Usually, that's the best you're going to do in the beginning. You're going to get access to their presence. All right. So all you have to do is get together face to face. That's it. All right. Have fun, have a good time, laugh at his jokes. That's what you should be focusing on, not his feelings. So you're focused on the wrong thing. Totally focused on the wrong thing. Faith with the super chat says, hey, how do I limit access to me while co parenting? We have 4 month old, and so he knows where I am and that I always have the baby. He is with someone. Well, if he's with someone else, okay, you got to assume that you're not getting back together right now. Okay. So the only communication you should have with this guy is about the kid. And just because you have a kid together, you need to build up a structure so he doesn't just get to just pop up at your house. Oh, hey, I came to see baby. That's not going to work. So try to figure out a schedule. You should, this might be something you have to go through court for, or maybe you guys agree over text message. What is a fair schedule for him to see his kid? And so that way there's no need for pointless conversation. Okay. I can see that obviously you still care about him. And I understand that you have a 4 month old baby, but he's with someone else. Okay, so I wouldn't be focused and fixated on getting back together right now until that relationship is over. But before then, get some kind of schedule together so he's not just getting to pop in and out of your life. Never talk about fixing things. Never linger. Never try to say, "Oh, hey, why don't you care?" Or "Hey, why don't you spend time with me and the baby?" None of that stuff. Okay, give him space and let him focus on his relationship until it's over. You definitely need to keep him at arm's length unless it's about baby. All right. So let's see here. Next question is from Michael G. Michael G says, Coach, why will she block me on everything but my number? She has done this again and again. I have said, if you're done, completely block me. She won't do it. Well, why are you trying to control? That's your way of trying to test her and trying to control things. She's a free human being. Let her do whatever the heck she wants to do. Okay. Let her do whatever she wants to do. It's none of your business what she chooses to do. So you asking that as a way to test, like, oh, well, if she doesn't block me, if she can't block me, that means she care. Doesn't mean anything. Okay. She's a free human being. She gets to do whatever she chooses to do with her phone, her social media profile. The fact that you're asking those questions shows her that you're still invested. You should be in no contact anyway. Stop texting her. Stop asking her, hey, block me. Block me right now so I know that you mean it. Leave her alone, bro. Let's see here. Kate, how long does it take for an avoidant ex to come back? I don't have a crystal ball. It depends. It depends. It varies from person to person. Okay. Different people take different amount of time. When is it time to give up? Never. You never give up, but you give in. You let go. You accept whatever is. Okay. This whole no contact thing is not about holding on. All right. You need to spend the bulk of this time working on your own life. All you're doing is creating a you're creating a scenario where it's in your ex's best interest to reach out to you. One, because they miss you. Okay, like you're distant enough. There's enough absence there that they're like, oh my god, like I forgot how awesome it was to be with this person. Oh, I miss her, like, or I miss him. It was such a pleasure, right? So you create the distance, and two, you increase your value by improving your life. Remember, the title of this video and what I was talking about earlier, your ex only comes back to you if it is in their best interest. So for example, let's just make it very simple, right? Very simple. This is not going to happen to most people. but but let's say you won the lottery tomorrow and you won $100 million. All right. And you think your ex will probably reach out. They might feel bad for reaching out, but they'll probably reach out to you because again, you're on a different level, right? You would have access to more amazing and beautiful things and a different kind of lifestyle. All right. So you just nail that down to a simpler perspective. So for example, if you became more fit, you would be a more attractive person. And now your ex will feel more proud, right? They're with someone that is, oh, wow, you're gorgeous, right? And this is not saying that there was anything wrong with you to start, okay? Hear me closely. You're just improving yourself. That's all this is. So again, not to stray from the question. It's never about giving up. It's about accepting. What causes us pain as human beings by far is our refusal to accept reality as it is. If you can just accept that this is the truth, like this is the current state of things, in most cases, your life would be fine anyway. So you should always be letting go, always. Andre says we separated and she seems really happy to be apart, but uses me for emotional venting. Is it hurting my chance of reconciliation? Well, you're the one choosing to be her emotional baggage guy support. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do favors for your ex. The moment they tell you the relationship is over, one, you cease to get the benefits of the relationship. So whatever that was, all the amazing things that she did for you, whether that was cooking, maybe that was intimacy, maybe that was deep conversations, right? All of the amazing things that she does for you, you've lost those privileges instantly. But it goes the same way for her. All right. So when you're still giving your ex benefits after they dump you, they know they don't deserve it. And a lot of times they're going to take advantage of you, but they're not going to come back. So you shouldn't be her emotional baggage support guy. Stop doing it. Say, hey, I don't want to be friends. Stop texting me. If you don't want to see me, if you don't want to hang out with me, if you don't miss me, stop texting me. That's what you need to say. Be bold. Okay. Terry Bickford says, if my ex and I have a mutual male friend, me being female, have a mutual male friend, me being female. Okay. Is this okay? The friend reached out to me and said he still values our friendship. Should he share with my ex consequences? Well, you are going to be the best judge of that. Like, what is this mutual friends, intention? Okay, so be clear about that. I'm not saying it's impossible for men and women to be friends, but in the past you always had your ex as a buffer. Okay, you had this male mutual friend and you had your ex and then you had yourself. Now the downside is that your ex knows this other friend, and so if you're hanging out with the other friend without your ex, that's like, that could be sketchy. Okay. So you need to, one, make sure, do I truly actually value this relationship? Would I have been friends with this mutual friend if my ex was never in the picture? One. Two, what are his intentions? Does he actually care? And do I truly feel like he wants to be my friend? Or do I think he wants more than just friendship? And you know what that means. Okay. Ariel Thomas with the super chat says, in no contact for 3 months. Ex called twice in that time, missed the calls. I called back, but I'm blocked. She is also in a rebound. Well, she's in a rebound anyway. So generally, I mean, don't ignore the calls when your ex calls you, but she's in a rebound. What can you do? Obviously, her calling you while she's in a relationship says that, she's likely not happy, right? She's at least second guessing the relationship. She might be comparing you to her, um she might be comparing you to her current person, which is okay. Um which is okay. She might be comparing you, but at the end of the day, she's likely not happy. So I would stay away from her. If she reaches out to you again and you answer, I would get clear on that. Say, hey, if you're in a relationship, I don't think it's okay for us to be communicating. And then see what she does. Uh Deal says, definitely hasn't been easy. Miss that girl like no other. 7 years together. This is the longest we've ever been apart. Hey, stay strong. Okay. Your strength will be rewarded. Your strength will be rewarded. Stay the course. Uh Luana says, my avoidant ex was uncertain during the breakup, said he didn't know if this was the right choice. Maybe we could just take a break, which I denied. Does it improve my chances of him reaching out? Well, at the end of the day, he'll reach out to you if he misses you enough. Bottom line, he'll reach out to you if he misses you enough, whether he's an avoidant or not. So just outweight him. Just be a little more patient. If you're just joining, thank you for being here. If you haven't already, hit the like button. I appreciate it. It means a lot. Nothing, and it really, really, really does help out. So I thank you for taking the time to do so. If you have any questions, drop it in the chat. I'm just going in chronological order. So first come, first serve. If you want to skip the line, send a super chat. I prioritize the super chat questions. Also, if you just want to make a donation, if you just like me, you want to support me, thank you. Send a super chat. I appreciate it. What else? Housekeeping. If you want to book a call so you can talk about your situation with me one on one, I'm happy to do so. Okay. Click the link, the pinned link, and you can book a call. But again, I understand everyone can't afford the call, so that's why we're here. So drop your questions in the chat. All right. Well, let's hop back into it. Where were we? So Jennifer, I remember your question before. You saw your ex in public and he was all over you, according to you, but that was the gist of it. That was the end. And then the next day, a couple days later, you texted him and he was standoffish. And now you're saying, what do what do we do when no contact works? He was all over me and now he's standoffish. Well, at the end of the day, he's standoffish because of your reaction. When you were in no contact, his perception was that, oh my goodness, I might be losing her. Maybe she's moving on. Maybe she's met someone else. Maybe she's happy without me. All right. But then he can feel your energy in person. Maybe he was the one all over you, but probably you were over reciprocating. You were a little too, yeah, you were a little too receptive of his advances. Bottom line, if you happen to run into your ex in public and they're nice, that's a good thing. But remember, how did you get there in the first place? It wasn't because your ex made an intentional decision to reach out to you. It was a coincidence. Okay, so you need to take that with a grain of salt. Don't be so easy. Bottom line, your ex should be investing more in you, should be investing more in fixing the relationship. And so if they didn't text you to get together, if they didn't call you and deliberately ask you on a date, you shouldn't be too friendly. You should be cordial, but you shouldn't be sitting there holding hands, touching, kissing, doing all these things. It's a big mistake. You're too receptive. And so he's like, I thought I was losing her. And I didn't know she was still so obsessed with me. So you finish this moment where you were probably a little too receptive. You both go your separate ways. He doesn't reach out to you. And a couple days later, you text him. He's like, yep, I knew it. She's still obsessed. So that's why he's standoffish. Okay. You need to be moving slow. And this may sound complicated. Watch the videos. It's really not. You got to understand where you're coming from. This person just dumped you. So, on some level, they know that they hurt you in a way. So, they expect your boundaries to be up a little bit. They expect that they would need to at least put in some effort to get you back. And when it's so easy or when it feels so easy, they don't value you, period. Don't ask me. That's just human nature. Don't ask me why people are like that. They're like, oh, I just want it to be easy. People are people. And both men and women act that way. Will says, my girl broke it off so we can address our childhood trauma. Yeah, that's BS. She took all the pics of us and yet delete all the pics of us together on social. We have a kid. I'm guessing you're going to say, do we still have a chance? Again, fix your mindset. She didn't break up with you because of childhood trauma. She lost feelings. She lost attraction to you. And I would say this, generally speaking, the most consistent reasons why women dump men is one, you got complacent, you got too comfortable, you stopped, planning dates, you stopped making her feel special. That's a big one. Two is you relinquished responsibility. So I don't care how successful, driven, ambitious, well off a woman is. If she's in a relationship with a man and she's a feminine woman, she still wants you to be leading in a way, right? Because think about it, when you don't take on the leadership, at the end of the day, someone has to do it. So you're putting it in her court. Now she has to make all the decisions. So those are kind of like the two top reasons is that you're not behaving in attractive ways. And if you want to keep into it, book a call. We'll talk about it. Okay. It's a little bit complicated to talk about over a live stream. Okay. But that's probably the problem. It's not the childhood trauma. Okay. Yvonne Torres says close to 3 months of no contact. I broke up with my husband. She said, I broke up with my husband of 15 years. He is consistent in messaging me about the kids and even ask me out, but don't feel any commitment. So I set boundaries. What's your question for me? So Michael G. Okay. I usually don't answer two questions from the same person, but this looks interesting. Michael G says if it's borderline stalking. So if you have to put the word stalking, I'm gonna take off the borderline and just assume you were stalking. Okay. Like not doing it as an unannounced with no contact work if the relationship has a strong emotional bond. You're likely projecting your feelings and not taking account to how she actually feels about you. If you're having to stalk her, she probably doesn't have a strong emotional bond. She's trying to get away from you. So you are behaving weak and needy. You're behaving like you don't deserve to be with her. That's extremely unattractive. It's extremely unattractive when you have to force yourself into someone's life when they're not asking you to be there. So by far, the best thing you can do if you went that far over the deep end and you pushed her boundaries in that way is to give her so much space it makes her head spin. That's what you should be doing. You shouldn't even be thinking about breaking no contact. Any move from you, she's gonna be like, "Oh, here he goes. He's about to start stalking me again." Okay? You must not. All right. Gabriella says, 5 months no contact. My ex unblocked me from Facebook. He saw WhatsApp stories, but today he deleted me on from Steam. I don't know what Steam is, but I'm guessing some social media. I thought I would not feel anything, but as stupid as it may look, I felt sad. Well, that's natural. You're a normal human being, and that's okay. It's hurtful. It does hurt when your ex does that, okay? It's all good. All is well. MJ Gray says, will no contact work on someone who spent 13 years locked up? Years she had a bad childhood. I don't think she even loves or misses me. Well, if she doesn't love or miss you, what does it say about you that you want to be with her? I got to be honest, guys, okay? Because I do want the best for you. I want you to have an amazing life. I want you to have the life of your dreams. And so I'm teaching you how to behave in an attractive way. So you're saying that she doesn't love or miss you. She doesn't care about you. But yet you're the one that's trying to chase her. What do you think that says about you and your self esteem? It tells me that you believe that you cannot find someone else out in the free world, out of the 8 billion people walking this planet, that will love you for who you are. Why would she want to be with you if you don't even think that you deserve to be with someone that cares for you genuinely? You got to think about these things. Nicole says ex met up with me, says he is afraid to commit completely again. Wants to be friends for now, says he has walls up, scared to try again. I don't think I can be just friends. It wouldn't be authentic. You should definitely not just be friends. Okay, don't accept that. Don't do that. One. Number two, like this shouldn't have even been a conversation. And the fact that he's the one saying this, okay, because again, I've been doing this for a while, and I just understand this stuff. Okay, so the fact that he's the one saying, right, that he's scared, he has his walls up, he's afraid of commitment, that tells me that you're asking questions to try to secure the relationship. You're saying things like, can we get back together, can we fix things? Because if you didn't bring those things up, he wouldn't have brought it up, because he doesn't want it. He doesn't want to commit, so he's not going to bring it up. So you're asking and you're trying to push back into a relationship when this is the first meeting that you've had after no contact. It does not work that way. There's got to be a process. There's got to be some dating. There's got to be some conversations. And bottom line, you shouldn't give your heart away back to your ex so easily. He just dumped you. So why would you make this so easy for him to just come back like, hey, I'm here whenever you want it? All right. Uh, so if you come in here, constantly typing the same thing, I'm going to kick you out. Okay. I'm not the most technical person with this thing. I don't really understand all the buttons, but you come in here typing crap in the chat, I'm going to block you. All right. What a mess. How do I block this guy? Oh my God. Anyway. All right. Let's go back to the question. Thank you all for being here. If you haven't already, be sure to like the stream. If you want to make a donation, send a super chat. And if you would like to skip the line, you want me to answer your question first, send a super chat donation and I will do so. All right. Cool. Let's see here. Where were we? Mm-mm-mm. Hmm. Uh, Parissa. Okay, next question is from Parissa. My I avoided seeing my ex for when he brought my belongings. He is moving to a different country. He suggested coffee. Days later, I found out his bank cards in my stuff and canceled on the day. What's your question? Tiny says, I spoke to you on a video call and you're amazing. Thank you. I appreciate it. Um, thank you. Oh, someone said we cannot hear you. All right, can you guys hear me now? Let's give me a thumbs up just so I know. I think I had some technical issues. Okay. All right, great. So we're back. Cool. Appreciate y'all for sticking with me. We were on a roll too, so I don't know what was the last question you guys heard. We were on a roll. Let me tell you. I could feel it. Anyway, it's all good. Let's get back to the questions. Where were we? Let's see here. Um, I think I've answered Faith. So a lot of the same people asking questions. Okay, Paul. Paul says, "Hi, my ex recently broke up with me. My ex of 10 years recently broke up with me, and I'm trying to win her back. She's fed up with me and says she wants to move on. But I know I don't want to throw away 10 years like that." Well, it's not up to you. She gets to say who's in her life or not. Okay, so you got to relinquish control. Okay, you can't force her to be with you. You can't make someone feel something that they don't. uh so at the end of the day, give her the space. Even if you've been together for 10 years or 20 years, give her the space. Give her what she's asking for. You can't win her back if she has no interest in being with you. Okay. So I would be no contact. Let's see here. Uh, uh, uh. All right. Let's see. I keep scrolling down just to make sure my audio is still good. So bear with me. So I end up losing my spot. Okay. So we just did Paul. So Ash White, is that good to go back to a woman who's monkey branching on you? At the end of the day, you got to decide, what you want, what your values are, who you want to be with. So if your ex broke up with you and instantly went to someone else and then she comes back, again, you have to decide what you're okay with. Was she cheating on you before she left? Or did the relationship end and then she jumped into a new relationship? Those are two different scenarios. But if she cheated or basically lined this person up before she left you, again, that's to me, that's at least a question mark. That's at least a yellow flag of her character. But at the end of the day, you get to decide who you want to be with or who you accept in your life. All right. Macy something says 4 years together, 1 month no contact. My ex is strong on suppressing feelings. Even if she missed me, her fear versus feelings win every time. Not enough time? Question mark. You see how you set up that question. Again, you've been in no contact for 1 month, and what you're basically saying is, Coach, is it okay for me to beg her yet? That's what you're saying. Is it okay for me to chase her yet, Coach? Because she doesn't care enough. She's not going to reach out to me. Fix your mindset, because this is what I'm going to tell you for those of you who reach out to your ex, because in some cases, if you reach out to your ex, even if it's been a month and you text them, in a lot of cases they will be receptive. Sometimes just as little as a month might be good enough for some people, but because you're the one doing the work, they never value the relationship, and they're likely to leave again in the future. Okay, so again, fix your mindset. Aren't you also worth fighting for? She's the one that left. I don't care how stubborn she is. Okay, relationships are always going to have hard times. You're going to go through ups and downs. Are you going to be with someone who you know has your back, that's willing to fight for you? Or are you going to be with someone where you have to always do the heavy lifting? All right. Deep Banshi. Okay, I might have said that wrong. Bear with me. When I tried to contact my ex again after the breakup, he ghosted me without any reason. What should I do? We dated for 3 months. Again, look at that mindset. What should I do? He dumped you. You went no contact for a little while. You reached out. He didn't respond. He ghosted you. Yet you think that, oh, I need to do something else. Maybe my last message wasn't good enough. Maybe I should send him a letter. Maybe I should make a post about how much I miss him. Maybe that will make him change his mind. That's just not how human beings work, okay? I got to be honest. So understand, this is not coming from a place. I'm not trying to put you down. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, but sometimes I got to shake you into reality to help you realize and see the like how preposterous some of the things you're saying is. This person dumped you. You've chased them, they ghosted you, but you still want to do more. What do you think what kind of results do you think you're gonna get? Do you think he's gonna say, you know what? All of a sudden I just changed my mind. It was that last text message, that last one that you sent that really just pushed me over the top. No, that's not gonna happen. He's gotta have some desire as well to fix things. He's got to, so you just gotta wait for him to miss you a little bit. Okay. All right. So I wish you well. Jason says, "Hey coach, how can I do no contact with kids involved?" I already answered this question in this stream. So if you weren't here when I answered this question, after the live session, go watch it and you'll find it. Okay. Let's see here. And I'm skipping you if you already answered a question, okay, to where you got if I already answered your question and you have more things to where you've like put 5 or 6 comments. If you need to talk about it, book a call and we can talk, okay? I gotta get to the other folks. Brandy says, "Hey coach, I was in no contact for a month and a half. Found out that I'm pregnant 3 days ago. I reached out and he doesn't want to talk about it. Do I go back into no contact?" Well, obviously, you need to figure out what you want. Okay. So essentially, what you're saying is you're pregnant with a child for someone who doesn't want to be in the child's life. So, again, that's a deep important personal and values question. So you got to figure out again, what do you want to do? Assuming he was never in the picture. All right. So you need to figure that out first. You've given him an opportunity to be there. He's choosing not to be, at least right now. Figure that out first. And yes, If he's not willing to be helpful or support you after you make your decision, I would be no contact. But again, this is something you have to figure out for yourself, because it's a very deep and important question that is way beyond the scope of no contact. That's important. Okay. Let's see here. Just in your DM. My ex blocked me after the breakup. I kept contacting her. Now I stopped completely. Last time I texted her was 5/5. Okay. Recently found out she unblocked me but hasn't reached out. Nothing for you to do. You've chased her enough. Give her an opportunity to chase you too. Okay. 5/5 isn't even a month ago. So you've been in no contact for about 3 weeks. A little less than 3 weeks, even. So it's okay. D'Angelo says, "Hey coach, this is my third time going into no contact. My ex normally reaches out after 3 weeks. It's been about 3 weeks and I haven't heard anything from her." Yes, you're overreacting. He says, "Am I overreacting?" Yes, you are. It's just been 3 weeks. It's okay. Okay, so this person. All right, so let me say this again because maybe you didn't see it. Jameson Wright, stop spamming the chat. Okay, I'm gonna get to your question when I get to it. Okay, there's other people ahead, and I'm going in order. If you think dropping your questions 20 times is gonna make me get to it any quicker, you're wrong. And if you're that anxious and you can't even handle, like, right? How are you supposed to have the emotional self control to deal with your ex? You're probably spamming her as well. You need to be patient. Okay, relax. Show some emotional self control. If you keep spamming, I'm gonna have to block you. Stop it. All right. Let's see here. Um, Evie says we are in 6 years. Okay, I'm gonna guess you mean we were together for 6 years. Do all things like a relationship, go on vacation, family functions, everything. Yeah, he tries to say he's single. We are also monogamous. I went no contact recently. Yeah, you're likely, again, one of those projecting your feelings. Because 6 years together and he's choosing not to secure the relationship. He's telling everyone else he's single. Why are you staying with this person? If it takes him 6 years to commit to you, then he probably doesn't want to be with you. He doesn't really value you enough. Uh, let's see. Thomas Bishop. My ex left in October 2022. So you're almost getting to like 9 or 10 months or so. Okay. Um, we talked and texted off and on. Then January 2023, she wanted space and to leave her alone. Said I was being fake. Still no contact. How long do I give her space? Forever. If she's asking you for space, if she's the one proactively telling you, I need space, that means you're doing too much texting. You're doing way too much texting. You're communicating with her too much. And she's so overwhelmed by your presence that she's comfortable enough to tell you, hey, stop reaching out to me. Right. Because if it was still like subtle, little, which you shouldn't be doing anyway, she wouldn't feel so strongly as to tell you to stop reaching out. So that means she's likely never the one initiating contact and you keep texting her. So much so that it frustrates her and she has to tell you to stop. Now you're asking me, coach, when can I go back to chasing her again? Never. Hope I wasn't unclear. Samantha says, is watching stories on Instagram breaking no contact? Well, they can watch your stories, but if you're watching theirs, yes, you're breaking no contact. Uh, let's see here. Should I see my ex's stories during no contact? No, stop watching him. Jack Hops or Hopes. My ex broke up with me and said she fell out of love with me and said she got bored of the relationship because we always stayed in her room, but she never told me she felt that way. We dated for 10 months. Yeah, you probably got complacent. You were too needy, too available. And that's okay. That happens to the best of us. Just all you can do now is, control what you do moving forward. Give her the breakup, give her some space. Amanda, will no contact work for a second time? Yes. Um, let's see. If X is not over his rebound X, that he first breakup, wondering who he would miss during no contact time. Makes me less anxious. Well, at the end of the day, going to go to whoever he has the strongest emotional connection for, that is also giving him the breakup. So giving him space. Okay. So again, you can't really worry too much about other people or worry about who he dated as long as you're behaving correctly. And it sounds like you are. Just give him the breakup, give him the space. All right. Jameson Wright, hopefully you're still in here. Again, stop spamming the comments in the future. Coach Black, how do I deal with a narcissistic ex-girlfriend? So again, remember what I said, like, what is your state of mind? You've been spamming the chat. I gotta be honest here. You've been spamming the chat, sending all these the same questions. So according to you, your ex is a narcissist. She monkey branched, so basically left you, right? And monkey branching is not the same as a rebound. This means she lined up this person while she was with you. Maybe she cheated, maybe she didn't. Let's just assume she cheated, okay? So she's a narcissist who cheated on you. Off to be with a new guy immediately after dumping me. She got intimate with him right away. What should I do? How do I get her back? Remember how I said the fact that you're spamming the chat, it already tells me your internal state of mind, how desperate and needy you are. So, according to you, she's a narcissist who dumped you for someone else. She's with this person, hooking up with them. They're in a relationship, and you're saying, "What should I do?" What do you think that says about you? Why would she ever want to be with a guy like you? Okay. And I'm not trying to be mean, but I really do need you to understand that you have totally undervalued yourself. You're portraying yourself like someone who has no worth. And I would be surprised if you haven't been texting her because you didn't share that part. Because if you go as far as to do this and you've said all these things about her, essentially saying she's not a great person, but you're still trying to win her back, I'm going to guess that you've been blowing up her phone. Or at least you've reached out to her a couple of times and you're not even in no contact. Why should she want to be with you? She can have you whenever she wants to. You have no self respect. You have no boundaries. You do not value yourself and you don't think that you're good enough for her. Okay. Will Smith said, which, you know, these days Will Smith is kind of funny, but he says, before anyone else will believe it, you have to believe it first. So if you do not walk, talk, act, and carry yourself like someone of value, like someone who's deserving, why would she want to be with you? Remember, human beings are going to act in what's in their best interest. She needs to feel like, oh, I'm getting a great deal. I'm getting someone special. I'm getting a prize. I'm getting someone amazing. You're not behaving like someone amazing. Okay? I got to be honest with you, my friend. So how should you get her back? By leaving her alone. Do nothing. Do nothing. She's not showing any interest. She's not showing any effort, and she's dating someone else. She's probably not the one, bro. But if she comes back, great. All right. If she comes back to you, if she's pursuing you, if she's putting effort, if she's apologizing, great. Then maybe you can work on something in the future. But for now, if I were you, I would never contact her ever again. But I know you're probably not going to listen. You're probably going to text her instead of working on yourself. All right, do what you must. Let's see here. Jasmine says, I blocked my ex on everything. I changed my number. Somehow he managed to get my new number. Yeah, cool. That's what happens. Khalid or something. Me and my ex been together for 6 years. I helped raise her kid. Long story short, we started talking. We went out. I ended up staying over for a few days. Then she said she needs space again. Well, yeah. Again, you're in the mix of reattracting her. You know, she misses you a little bit when you're in no contact. You go see her and then you stay a few days. You're supposed to be giving her space. You're supposed to back up enough to where she misses you and she's texting you. You don't go back and just like never leave. You're moving too fast. Michael G says, dang, coach, you read me like a book. That's fair. Yeah, man. Because, and this is like everything I'm doing up here is the same thing that your ex is going to do. The difference is I might articulate it differently or I might be able to express those things, but your ex is going to feel it. When you're in this place of desperation and neediness and acting like you don't deserve, like Jameson was. If I put Jameson right now in front of his ex, she will not be attracted for sure, because you're going to say things, you're going to do things that portray you in a certain light that's unattractive, because right now you need your ex to be back with you more than you need your self-esteem. You need her back more than you need your self-respect. So anytime I read some of these questions, you guys, like, you telegraph and you show exactly what your mindset is. But you may not seem to notice it. But I mean, this is what I do every day. I talk to people every single day, and I can read between the lines. All right, so we're gonna do a couple more questions and call it a night. Thank you all for being here. All right, it's amazing. Thank you all for being here. Let's do a couple more questions. Captain Phillips, my suggestion is that you watch this stream again, okay? Because again, all of these statements are coming from a place of love. But look at Captain Phillips. After everything I just said, he says, what do I do to get an ex who monkey branch onto a different guy, started dating him days after leaving me? What should I do? What's the strategy? Mm-mm-mm. How would she come back to me? Where are your standards, bro? Let's see here. All right, let's do a couple more questions. If you haven't already, hit the like button. Thank you all um, for your support. Thank you all for being here. If you want to talk again, click the link. It's always the first link in the description of all my videos, or like the pinned comment. So if you really want to talk, book a call and we'll go from there. But let's do two more questions and then we are going to call it a day. Jefferson, coach, 1 month no contact. She texted me Saturday that she misses me a lot and has been thinking of me. She said she has not forgiven me, but wants me in her life and start slow. Genuine interest or breadcrumbing? Well, it sounds like she's trying to keep you on the back burner. All right. I need more details about, so the line where she says she has not forgiven me. What does that mean? What exactly did you do? Because sometimes your ex will say that when you genuinely didn't do anything wrong. They just lost interest, and they say, "Oh, well, I haven't forgiven you for, not listening to me and all this stuff," right? So it's not truthfully like you did something, but she says that to make you feel guilty, and so you agree to stay on the back burner. Well, I'm not sure about us yet, but you know what? If you go through all these hurdles, maybe I'll consider getting back with you in the future. But you got to be my friend first. Don't fall for it. So unless you genuinely did something, again, that's one of the ones where I'd like to hear more about the situation, um, before anything else. Okay. Uh, Danielle with super chat says, "I appreciate you so much. I love your blunt realness." Hey, I'm a kind guy, but sometimes because I am passionate about this stuff, I truly, truly do care. Like if I'm not talking to clients, if I'm not making videos, I'm learning about attraction. I'm learning about desire and love and relationships. And um, so I really do have a deep passion for this. And truthfully, I think, I've been blessed to understand this stuff. So sometimes I got to be real and direct. So I hope you all know that it's coming from love, not anger, not hatred, but sometimes I really want to shake you up into reality. All right. So you do not keep making the same mistakes. All right. Amir with the super chat. Okay. This is going to be the last question. Been in no contact since January 1st. I took her off my car insurance and she unfollowed me and blocked me from her story and was upset at my profile pic. Her father passed at the time of the breakup and she has not contacted me. And she has not contacted since September. Huh. Again, a little confusing, a little vague. So you're saying she has not contacted since September, but you've been in no contact since January. So I'm gonna assume from September to January, every time you communicated, you were the one initiating contact, which again you shouldn't have been doing. Um, but there's nothing truthfully to do here. Um, I'm gonna take it that you broke up in September, right? If there's no contact, so again, you're almost at a year. You've just been in no contact since January, but if she hasn't reached out since September, it's been a year almost. So I would be more so focusing on myself, bro. Okay. Be focusing on yourself, be working on improving your life and giving her all the space that she's asking for. Okay. All right. Look at Michael tried to sneak this in. He said, just like we're passionate about our ex. You can be passionate about your ex all you want. If they're not passionate about you, you're wasting your time. So all I'm doing is trying to hold you accountable, trying to stop you from doing the very thing that is ruining your chance with your ex. For a lot of you, especially someone like Michael, all the action that you're taking, everything that you're doing, every text message, every call is what's actually making sure that you never get back together with your ex. It's ironic, but that's literally it. Your refusal to accept what they're asking for, your a refusal to 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 give them the space that they're asking for is what is causing them to leave in the first place. Truthfully. But anyway, I wish you all well, okay? Thank you all for being here. Thank you for tuning in again. We'll be live for sure. Oh man. So Monday's Memorial Day. So, you know, we'll probably be live on Tuesday. Okay. We'll be live on Tuesday. So next week, if you miss this live session after, it's going to be up on YouTube. You can tune in and watch it. I think this one's going to be very helpful. I just had a lot of energy tonight for whatever reason. So, if you just joined, it is what it is. It is over. But tune in, go to YouTube. Confusing. If you don't do YouTube, it might be difficult to find. But let me give you, if you go on YouTube, if you go on anyone's page who makes content, if you go on their home page, there's a lot of different tabs. there's the home tab, the videos tab, shorts, and then live. So you just click the live tab and you can see all the live streams that I've ever done. Okay. So this video is going to be up on there if you go to the live stream section. Okay. So again, I appreciate you all. There's no cookout. I don't have a cookout. I'm just gonna be hanging out. I'm be hanging out. If you're in Houston, maybe shoot me an email. Who knows? Maybe we'll do something if you're in Houston. But anyway, take care. I appreciate you all. All right. Peace. Love.